Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel GMB SHOW. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Eamonn Holmes has reportedly taken a swipe at his former wife, Ruth Langsford, by declaring that his new partner, Katie Alexander, 43, is his soulmate. The revelation comes after the pair, both aged 65, announced their split last year. The duo, once co-hosts on This Morning, confirmed their split in May, with Eamonn later announcing his romance with Katie. They were recently seen together at GB News presenter Nana Akua's engagement do. Bella magazine reports that at the swanky London event, Eamonn branded Katie his soulmate and allegedly made a jibe. In sickness, you find out who is there for you. A source weighed in on the remark, noting, "It was an insensitive comment, but he's smitten with Katie and does feel like she has been there for him through the hard times. That said, it is a kick in the teeth for Ruth because she has been there for him since the beginning," reports the Mirror. Now frequently seen using a wheelchair due to persistent health issues following a double hip replacement and back surgery, Eamonn is reportedly relying heavily on Katie's support. Loose Women, Brana Wah discusses her accent on Ridley. And it appears there's no turning back for the celebrity's former spouse, who was photographed without her wedding band for the first time in over a year following their separation. The Loose Women star decided to ditch her ring months after split from Eamonn, with an insider revealing to OK that discarding the ring after such an extended period marked a pivotal moment for Ruth. A source close to Ruth explained, "Removing that ring might have been a shock to fans after she's worn it for so long. But it was the final bit of closure. It was a message to Eamonn and symbolic that Ruth's marriage and that chapter of her life is over. She's closing the door on her past for good. Taking it off is Ruth saying, 'I've moved on. It's all behind me.' She's just desperate to get this divorce out of the way now. There's no turning back." The television world has always loved Eamonn Holmes for his wit, his blunt honesty, and his ability to turn any conversation into a headline. But no one expected his latest revelation to strike such a chord, nor to sting quite so sharply. Sitting comfortably on a plush sofa during a recent interview, the veteran broadcaster leaned forward, eyes glinting with both charm and defiance. "For the first time in a very long time," he said, voice thick with emotion, "I've found my soulmate." The words hung in the air like fireworks waiting to explode. It wasn't just the declaration that shocked fans, but the subtle, unmistakable dig at his former wife, Ruth Langsford. Their 27-year relationship had been seen as one of television's strongest partnerships, both on screen and off. But cracks had appeared, widening until separation became inevitable. Now, here was Eamonn grinning with a spark that seemed to have been missing in recent years, speaking with a warmth that only true affection could bring. The camera zoomed closer as he described his new partner, not in glittering detail, but in poetic tones that painted a picture more vivid than any tabloid snapshot could. "She understands me," he said softly, "not just the broadcaster, not just the man in the spotlight, but the flawed, stubborn, restless me. She sees me, and that's rare." Across social media, reactions poured in within seconds. Some applauded Eamonn for embracing happiness after such a public and difficult split. Others accused him of cruelty, suggesting that calling someone his soulmate was an intentional slight aimed at Ruth, who had stood beside him through career triumphs and personal struggles. But Eamonn didn't flinch. "Life," he continued during the interview, "is too short for regret, too short for pretending. I've learned that happiness doesn't arrive in the way we expect it. And when it finally does, you hold on tight." His words, laced with sincerity, resonated far beyond the studio walls. Behind the glamour, however, the emotions were undeniably complex. Friends of Ruth admitted she had been hurt, even if she masked it with her usual grace. To her, love had been partnership, compromise, shared laughter in dressing rooms, and quiet dinners after long filming days. Hearing Eamonn frame someone else as his soulmate seemed to dismiss the years they had invested together. Still, those close to Eamonn insisted this wasn't a calculated jab, but rather an outpouring of truth from a man who, despite his fame, had always worn his heart on his sleeve. He's not one for sugarcoating, a friend explained. When Eamonn feels something, the world's going to hear about it. As headlines swirled, one thing became clear. The story was bigger than gossip. It was about the universal search for connection, the risk of speaking your truth, and the unavoidable bruises honesty can leave behind. Eamonn's dig may have sparked controversy, but it also reminded the world of a simple, unshakable fact. Love, in all its messy, unpredictable forms, never stops rewriting the script.